You're watching Talkin' Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Talkin' Ducks is presented by Pacific Clear Vision Institute and Les Schwab Tire Centers. Welcome into another edition of Talkin' Ducks. Oregon falls big time, flat on their face in Salt Lake City against Utah. A devastating blow to their college football playoff hopes. We'll recap the game that wasn't for the Ducks. Also, men's basketball. They also are stunned by BYU. We'll cover that. Women's basketball playing very well. But we'll talk bigger picture with this Oregon football team. What does this loss mean? What does it expose? And what still lies out there for the Ducks? Time now for our opening drive, brought to you by Les Schwab Tire Centers. Doing the right thing since 1952. And, well, somebody has to break this down. So joining me for all the fun this evening, we've got Fentress from the Oregonian, Joey Harrington, and Anthony Newman. And Aaron, it's an Oregon loss. I want to start with you on this one.
What do you take away? Of course you're starting with Aaron on the loss.
Because for Oregon, this wasn't just a close loss. They got dominated in a game that they had to win on the national stage, and they were beaten every aspect of this game. Where do you even begin with this one?
Well, I'm not surprised that they lost. As I've been saying all season, they've been dancing on the danger line, and they lost at Stanford. Stanford's completely inferior to Utah. We all know how tough it is to go to Utah. I'm surprised they got obliterated like that. That was pretty shocking. When it was 21-0, I'm thinking, what is going on? And then, of course, it went to 28, pretty quickly after that. So I'm a little shocked by all that they couldn't find the resolve and resiliency that we had seen them display in other games. They just seemed like they just had nothing to turn to. The defense couldn't produce enough stops, obviously. They couldn't dominate in the run game at all. And, of course, we all know the passing game isn't a dominant passing game, so they had no chance really to come back when they were down a lot. So it was pretty shocking the way they fell apart. That all said, I never believed this was a playoff team. I felt that they were going to lose twice in conference, and they ended up doing that. It still couldn't be a great season, though. I know fans were freaking out on social media Saturday, which I expect, but there's still a lot to play for this Ducks team.
Joey, where do you even begin? Who do you pin this one on? Because for Oregon to go down to Salt Lake City and just no-show in this way is really not what we've seen from really this team, this program over the last couple of years.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep. Would you like to elaborate on what else you took away from the game?
No, I don't.
I know the offense didn't give us many yards, but I need a few more from you.
But look, I mean, what are you going to say? They went to Utah. They got punched in the face. They got beat. And there's nothing you can say about it. Sometimes that happens. Aaron, I'm kind of disappointed that you came to me instead of Anthony next, because I would like to see Anthony's rebuttal, since you started with Aaron and the loss.
Newman's got no
But
rebuttal.
he's right. He's right, because this passing game, and if you go back to the discussion at the beginning of the season, nobody ever said Anthony Brown was perfect. Nobody ever said he was elite, but he gave him the best chance to win this year. That was because they were good enough running the football to have that type of balance where they didn't need someone to go out, throw for 3 1/4 and 3 touchdowns every game. In the end, what came back to bite them, I mean, a lot of things did, but they didn't have the consistency to sustain drives, right? You were talking about it a second ago, Aaron, that you were surprised at how badly they got beat. Well, you get down 14, you make a drive, you get a field goal blocked. You just start shooting yourself in the foot is what happened. And really everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. And I won't say they were exposed, because I don't think anybody really had we all knew what they were. Right? This was the type of team that they were, that you're going to run the ball and dominate the offensive line. You're going to have a steady passing game that's not going to carry you, and you're going to have turnovers and havoc wreaked by number 5 on defense, and none of those things happened. So, yeah, we got beat, period.
And Anthony, it really was telling to start this game how many third downs Utah was converting, and long third downs, and those just really seemed to break the will of the Ducks. And when you can't respond on the other end by getting field goals blocked, missing field goals, not able to sustain drives, that's a lot for a defense. And we'll hear from Coach Cristobal here in a second that they never were able to generate momentum on either side of the ball the entire game.
Jordan, it was simple. Seriously, you guys, it's very simple. It's comparable to this outfit that I'm wearing today. Old school. Got the white turtleneck, got the sport coat, heading to a Christmas party, drink some eggnog. That was an old school beatdown. It really was. It was plain and simple. It wasn't fancy. It wasn't spread offense, guys running all over the place. It was 3 tight ends. We're going to run the ball down your throat, and you can't stop us. And your running game will get nothing. And your special teams, our special teams is better than yours. That's what it was. It was a team loss. It was a team victory for Utah. And Oregon didn't come to play, and Utah did. And it was straight, simple. We're going to beat you up with our size, with our speed. Oregon never showed up.
Yeah, really interesting. You got a Utah team that lost early in the season, was kind of written off until they've been playing so well, versus an Oregon team that had a huge win early in the season that vaulted them up the standings that we knew had some issues. And so Oregon clearly outplayed down in Salt Lake City, but there still is plenty to play for. But let's go ahead and get to our Parr Lumber post-game cuts, brought to you by Parr Lumber. Go where the builders go. Here's Coach Cristobal afterwards.
We thought we schemed it well. We thought we practiced it well. At the end of the day, we didn't practice it well enough. We didn't scheme it well enough. We didn't execute it well enough. So you have to, against a team like this, that's rolling on offense like they are, and the way they were rolling tonight, we had to give the defense momentum by scoring touchdowns, and we didn't do that. Everybody's upset. Everybody's upset and disappointed, like we should be. It should burn. It should hurt a ton. Guys are competitors, and it's hard because we've taken a lot of pride in being resilient and being able to bounce back from adversity. And tonight we didn't do a good enough job. And then the reality of the matter is that we have a great opportunity in 7 days. That's the reality. And it's going to be here in a hurry. And we got to get right to work on it fast.
So, Joey, to take away from Coach Cristobal, obviously a disappointing loss, still a lot to play for. So it puts Oregon in this interesting situation where you play poorly, you lose the crown jewel that is the college football playoff, but here's a conference championship and a Rose Bowl. Is this an exposing type of loss, or just a loss that they need to move on from and really rebound from, and that they have the capability to rebound from?
I think we'll see in 6 days. I mean, 5 days. What day is this? I don't know. Whenever they play, and I never. We'll see. I mean, if Oregon goes out and plays like they did this week against Oregon State, like they did against Utah, then yeah, it's an exposing loss. If they come back out and show the resilience that they've showed all season long, then it was a bump in the road. And I don't think you can make that determination until they play this week. This is the old, going back to what Coach Bellotti, hammered into us when we lost that game in the 2001 season mid-year to Stanford. It's don't let Stanford beat you twice. Right? Don't let this one loss turn into something else that derails what could be something very special that is still out in front of you. So I think we'll see. And I'm going to be very curious to see what type of team shows up this weekend. Is it going to be an angry team that's going to come out and get revenge and redeem themselves? Or are they truly going to show that they got pushed around and maybe they got exposed a little bit? I think it's going to be the former, but I don't think we're going to know until we see it on the field.
All right, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at the impact of the punt return touchdown. Was that curtains for the Ducks already in the first half? Plus, what Utah did that was so effective against Kayvon Thibodeau as we continue along on this edition of Talkin' Ducks.
With 9 locations in the Pacific Northwest, Parr's Cabinet Design Center features everything from outdoor cabinets and countertops to sinks and hardware. Thousands of door styles and colors available to order, as well as kitchen and bath cabinets in stock. All available at the Parr Cabinet Design Center.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires, reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. Introducing the brand new Backcountry AT2 for a quieter ride with improved performance in wet conditions. Because when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires help you feel prepared for anything. Seriously, anything. Now save up to $130 when you buy Quadtrac tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Being able to get LASIK gave me the opportunity to not worry about putting contacts in every day, and just kind of made my life a little easier. Pacific Clear Vision Institute was just incredible through my entire experience. The staff was very welcoming. Dr. Embody. He really just kind of laid it out and made me feel comfortable and gave me confidence to know that I was in good hands. I would definitely recommend Pacific Clear Vision Institute for any sort of laser eye surgery.
Welcome to your Capital Toyota.
From the moment you walk through the doors, we're here for you.
Buy, sell, trade.
We got you covered.
It's everything you need in one place.
Great service? Check.
Easy to work with?
Check.
We want you to be happy, and it shows in everything we do.
Because we respect your time.
It's all the quality and convenience in one package.
New or Toyota certified pre-owned.
Our people are your people.
Capital Toyota. It's your way on the Parkway.
Stories tell us that great leaders are anointed at birth, chosen by the hand of fate. But those are just stories.
You're watching Talkin' Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Welcome back. Time to put things into focus, brought to you by Pacific Clear Vision Institute, the official eye doctors and eye surgeons of the Oregon Ducks. So, Mr. Anthony Newman, sorry that this was the birthday present that the Ducks gave you, but this, to me, really seemed like where this game was completely over. You've got 11 seconds left. Oregon, instead of running out the clock, chooses to punt to Covey, and the rest is history. And a huge back-breaking punt return touchdown, and really just summed up everything that we saw in this first half for Oregon.
Well, yeah, it's a head scratcher. I mean, you know, coaches, they know what they're doing. I mean, they had a plan. I'm not sure that was their plan. I don't think you kick to a kick returner who has the opportunity and has the ability to score points, to return a punt return. You know, maybe the punter was told, hey, kick the ball out of bounds, and he kept it in bounds. We don't know. We don't know what's going on. But also, if you do kick the ball to him, you got to make sure as a punt team, you got to go down and make a tackle. If you're outside and you have to contain, do your job, have contain. And so there's a lot of fingers that you can point at, coaches, players, punter, who knows, but that was a backbreaker because now it's 28-0 going into halftime.
So Oregon, obviously, as we mentioned, trailing by 4 scores with that late punt return touchdown by the Utes in the first half, and really spelled the end of the game for Oregon. Let's go ahead and check out our solid stop, brought to you by Milan Stoneworks, bringing you the finest stoneworks in the Northwest. And, well, Aaron, unfortunately, there isn't a lot of solid stops for the Ducks we can highlight. So we're going to look at what Utah did as far as really just doing a great job against Oregon and really shutting down Kayvon Thibodeau. It seemed like they really neutralized him all game long, and Thibodeau not nearly having the impact he had against the Utes in last year's Pac-12 title game.
Yeah, I mean, the best way to handle a pass rusher who's dominant is to, one, run the ball effectively, and don't pass the ball a lot. They only threw the ball 18 times. The best friend of a pass rusher like Kayvon is to be ahead, and the other team is desperate, and they not only have to throw, they have to throw downfield, so he's going to be in the pocket a little bit longer. That never materialized for Kayvon. So if you're running away from him, or if you're running at him and you're kicking him out, or you're double teaming or whatever, he just becomes just another guy on the field. It can happen to any great player, especially when your main skill is pass rushing. If they just run at you, they don't never have to really throw the ball. Or when they do throw, it's play action, right? They're play faking, they're rolling away from you and getting rid of the ball quickly. Then you're just kind of just there. And that's sort of what they did. And it was a great job by them. And you have to give credit to the entire team for Utah, because everything that went into place, the defense shutting down Oregon's offense, kept Oregon from getting points. Therefore, they can't get a lead when they're then unleash Kayvon on a quarterback. So great job by Utah all the way around.
And Joey, you've been in games before where the defense just can't get off the field. And maybe it's not so bad for the first quarter, but talk to us about how this can just be such a compounding impact throughout the game where your defense is just out there down after down after down, and they're not getting much help from the offense.
Did you not see my hand raised? Or am I just getting ignored here? Are we moving on? I just need to confirm.
Joey. Yeah.
You said Joey? Dang.
Come on, I'm trying to be polite. I'm
looking at the camera.
He wants you to say Mr. Harrington.
Come on. I just need to confirm.
Mr. Harrington in the back, do you have a point?
Just confirming that our solid stop for this entire game was the way that Utah stopped Kayvon Thibodeau.
Exactly.
It was that kind of game.
Okay. So Then moving on. So to your question about not being able to get off the field, right? Because that's what it was. Although I think I heard it.
Because they were stopping Kayvon Thibodeau. That's why they couldn't get off the field.
Exactly. And that is so demoralizing. It is absolutely demoralizing to be sitting there at 3rd and long, getting yourself ready. All right, come on, guys, here we go. We're going to get the ball back. Boom, 3rd down conversion. They stay on the field. And that happened so many times during this game where you thought there was going to be an opportunity to get the ball back. Okay, we've been smelly up to this point, but at least we're going to get the ball back and we get another shot. No, we don't. Okay, they still have the ball. Look, I got nothing to say, really. I mean, there's nothing really we can say. They were really bad on offense. They were really bad on defense. And they were bad on special teams. And that all compounded, and it just made for this feeling of badness inside of you that just kept building on top of each other, that the badness just became overwhelming. And so, I don't know.
It's always discombobulated.
Well, Aaron, going back to that punt also, because it just felt like that was it. And everything that Oregon had done up until this point, maybe they can salvage this game if they're down 21-0 and they score the first 2 times of the second half and stop Utah. You make it a game. But that punt was just the end-all, be-all. And it was interesting because I believe Utah ran a punt back for a touchdown here in Autzen Stadium a couple years ago when Utah came in and really beat the Ducks. And the Ducks got beat down for the first time in years, it felt like. So to me, that play really just summed up this game.
A lot of people were complaining that they punted at all or that they didn't try to kill the clock. They came out and they went pass, run, then punt. But Utah had all 3 of its timeouts, I believe, which means you have to get a first down in order to run the clock out. So I still would have preferred them to run, make them burn 1, run, make them burn 1, and then figure out what to do on 3rd down than just go pass. But if they saw something they liked and they thought they could get a first down right away, I guess that's fine. But they didn't feel like they had a plan. And when your passing game is not reliable, and the running game wasn't reliable either, so maybe they figure we're not running the ball well, maybe we have to pass to get this first down. But it just seemed like they didn't really have a plan there at the end, and it really bit them.
When we come back, we'll talk about Oregon's other problem, the mounting injuries really starting to pile up for Oregon as they close out the regular season. We'll talk about that impact when we come back.
Do you have a stay-at-home project? We can help. Contact Parr from the comfort of your home. Get a free quote online or call a pro to order your materials. And the best part? We deliver. Call us or visit Parr.com for details. Parr, your project experts for 90 years.
Since 1961, Comfort Flow Heating has provided service to more than 50,000 homes and businesses in the Willamette Valley. While the technology and techniques in our industry have changed, our founding principles have remained the same: to provide exceptional service in all areas of our business and for our customers to enjoy their products from us and be comfortable for years to come.
From all of us at Comfort Flow, thank you for choosing us.
Go Ducks!
Eugene Airport is a proud part of what makes Western Oregon such a unique place to be. With nonstop routes that connect to hundreds of destinations, fly local, fly EUG. In the heart of the South Willamette Valley, just 12 miles southwest of Eugene, distinctive handcrafted wines are waiting for you at Sylvan Ridge Winery. Sylvan Ridge Wines bring unassuming, casual elegance to your homes, tables, and celebrations, and are best paired with the mainstays of a social gathering: good food, fond friends, and lively conversation. Discover our wines by visiting our tasting room. For a list of events or to plan your visit, go to sylvanridge.com. Proud partners of the Oregon Ducks.
Sometimes leadership is scary, but so is regret.
You're watching Talkin' Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Welcome back. It's time for a Thing of Beauty presented by Dr. Lee B. Daniel and Aesthetic Plastic Surgery. Live Beautiful. Well, Joey, this is really only one highlight for Oregon offensively, and a difficult game for the Ducks because they were forced to be one-dimensional based upon being down, and then also Utah wanted them to play that way, and Oregon is a team that really plays much better with the lead, and difficult situation for Oregon when you look at what they had to try and do with the passing game, trying to get back into this game.
Yeah, this is the first time I've actually seen this play because I think I went to the bathroom during the game, and I missed it. So, at least cool. That's a good one. Yeah, we're not built. This team, as they stand, is not built to put the game on the quarterback's shoulders and throw the football. And if they can't run the ball, then they are going to struggle offensively because this has never been a team that has been able to have any sort of consistency with the passing game on its own. It has lived in conjunction with a dominant offensive line and a great running game. And when you're forced to throw to come back, we're going to struggle. And this is going to be the blueprint going forward. This is what Oregon State is going to try and do to Oregon is they're going to put it on Anthony Brown and see if he, try and stop the running game and force him to throw. Hopefully they don't return punts for touchdowns, and hopefully, I can still go to the bathroom and come back and not miss the only offensive highlight in the game. That would be good.
We'll talk to Cristobal, see if they can time things up a little bit better.
Thank you. That would be helpful. I appreciate that,
Mr. Joey
yes.
Harrington. Now, Aaron, you look at the injuries mounting for Oregon. It was mentioned after the game by Coach Cristobal, Johnny Johnson III and Jalen Redd out for the year along with C.J. Verdell. But then you also have Micah Pittman transferring. So now all of a sudden you're down three of your top playmakers on offense coming into this game against Utah. What do you make about the injuries and the transfer?
It's really too bad to see the type of season Johnson and Redd had and then for it to end this way. Those guys committed to Oregon in 2016. They were a part of what would have been Mark Helfrich's final class. That's how long they've been associated with this program. So to see their careers end like this is pretty difficult. Same with C.J. Verdell. And this, we've talked about this before. This is some of the most injuries I've ever seen Oregon have. I compare it with 2007. I compare it with 2016. It's just incredible what this team has gone through. As far as Pittman goes, look, man, a young man's got to make a decision that's best for him. We're in a new age where now you can transfer at will pretty much. So he's making the decision to do that. I just don't like the fact that he did it during the season. I understand frustration. He's a receiver. I played a receiver. We always think we're open. We always think we need 10 or 15 targets, a drive, not a game, a drive. So I understand that mentality, right? But you were a part of a team that was ranked third in the country. You were playing. Regardless of how many catches you were getting, you were the leading punt returner. And you never know what's going to happen. Case in point, Johnson and Redd go down. There's more reps available that you would have received. Now, they lost to Utah, but let's say they had won that game. Let's say they went to the playoffs. For all you know, Micah, you could have had an 8-catch, 145-yard game in the playoffs, just like Darren Harrington did against Florida State in 2014. He had 2 touchdowns and sort of made a name for himself. Of course, he blew it with the dubage, but that's another story. My point is, I'm just shocked that he quit on his team. And he did quit. I mean, there's no way around it. You quit on your team.
Yeah.
If they were 4-5, fine. They're number 3 in the country. I just don't understand that mentality. And I say that with all due respect to the young man and his family. I'm not trying to disparage him. I just didn't like the move. And when you consider what's happened with the receiver position and guys getting injured, it just really never made any sense to me.
Yeah, to the point, Anthony, I mean, how bizarre is it that one of your best receivers decides to transfer? I mean, this is somewhat unheard of, as Aaron pointed out. A starting receiver on a team in pole position for the college football playoff leaving. And then that's compounded by no Johnson, no Redd, and now in a game where you need as many receivers as possible to get back into the game, you're down your 3 top receivers, arguably.
Yeah, I mean, your 3 top receivers, the guys who can block well on running plays. They know the offense. They're veterans. When you talk about someone transferring, I really don't like to comment on it because I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. We all don't. Only himself and his family understand what's happening, and it's sad. I mean, that's a tough situation. Yeah, it's in the middle of the season. You just kind of take off and see ya. Yeah, I don't want to comment on it because I don't know what's going on really with his family and why he chose to do that. But the other 2 receivers, Johnson and Redd, I mean, yeah, boom, they're gone. Now you got a bunch of young guys, Franklin, Hudson. I mean, who else is in there? Thornton. You got all these young receivers. that's tough to deal with. And you know, since we're the media, we don't know what's happening during the week at practice. You know, if those guys were gone during practice, or did they practice, or what happened? And all of a sudden now they're starting and they're playing. Whoa, what do you do, Joey? I mean, you're throwing the ball to a bunch of young guys now.
You know, though, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but if you look at this receiving core top to bottom, there were, 10 to 15 catches between the top guy, who was Johnny Johnson at the top with like 35 catches, and then there were like 47 guys who had more than 15 catches, right? So it's not like you've got a dominant guy that you're losing, right? I mean, and if you're truly bringing in all these, 4- and 5-star wide receivers, and you're an offense that's, it's an interesting point, Anthony. You said, the first thing you said was you've lost guys who can block well in the run game, right? What? Yes, receivers need to block, but that's not what their job is, right? I don't know. I think that this receiving crew has been in an interesting position all year. And it has worked for this team, but I think that in a lot of different ways and for a lot of different reasons, this is going to kind of be a turning point for this program. See how they respond, see what happens going forward, not just for this team, but for a lot of the young guys individually.
Great point, Joey, because when we come back, we'll talk about Oregon. They still have a Rose Bowl in their sights and a Pac-12 championship, but is that in the scope of reality for Oregon based upon what we saw against Utah? We'll take a look at the road ahead when we come back.
Parr Lumber is committed to providing the best customer service. We provide personal service. We're problem solvers. We're positive and courteous. We're competent and professional. We are committed to delivering exceptional service every time. We're appreciative and we care. We are Parr Lumber.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires, reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. Introducing the brand new Backcountry AT2 for a quieter ride with improved performance in wet conditions. Because when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires help you feel prepared for anything. Seriously, anything. Now save up to $130 when you buy Quadtrac tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
You're watching Talkin' Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Welcome back. Let's get to the hot topic brought to you by Comfort Flow Heating, the HVAC industry leader in Western Oregon since 1961. Well, Oregon obviously out of the college football playoff conversation, but they can still win the North. They can still go to the Pac-12 championship game. If they win that, they go to the Rose Bowl where you know there's a very high-quality Big Ten opponent waiting for them. And Joey, for this team, you're coming off such a disappointing loss where so much of what you're hoping for the majority of the season is now gone. But you've kind of been in a similar situation where you now have to reset and get ready mentally again for the grind that is these final 3-4 games potentially. For Oregon, the fact that you have this Rose Bowl to play for still, how do they bounce back and understand just how valuable and how important this is for them?
If you don't realize how important and valuable it is at this point, then get off the field. Like, don't bother strapping your helmet on right now, because the Pac-12 championship is still on the line. The Rose Bowl is still on the line. The greatest bowl game in the history of college football in Pasadena, in front of the entire country. Keith Jackson calling games, fly over as the sun sets in the Hollywood Hills. This is everything that those of us who grew up on the West Coast, those of us who grew up watching Pac-10, Big Ten football, this is everything that you play for. Anthony, I know that you would have given anything to play in this Rose Bowl. I know that there are thousands upon thousands of kids out there who will do anything to play in this Rose Bowl. So if you don't understand the importance of what is still on the line, then don't bother showing up. Because there's some of us, look, hold on real quick. I'm patching out on my microphone. Hold, please.
What the hell's happening?
I thought this was part of it.
This is definitely unscripted.
I'm back. You know why? Because some of us got this.
Oh, I see. I love you, buddy.
And some of us got this. 2 of them back to back, and never once got a chance to play in the Rose Bowl. Never once got a shot to be standing in that game, on that stadium, on that sideline, representing your conference, representing your state, representing everything that is great about college football. So if you don't know what is on the line right now, like I said, don't bother showing up. Don't strap that pot on, because there's somebody next in line who understands what you still have to play for. Yeah, it's disappointing that you lost. And there's a big national championship trophy that you will not get this year. But this Rose Bowl game, this opportunity that you still have in front of you, is massive. And if you don't treat it that way, then you know what? We will find somebody else who will, because this is important. And this is, be ready. Don't quit. There you go.
And Anthony, I imagine you would have loved to have played for some of these things, to have them still in play this late in the season. A conference championship and a berth in the Rose Bowl.
No rings. No Rose Bowl rings. Nothing. I wish I'd have had what Joey has.
The crutches or the rings?
I've had the crutches. I don't want the crutches.
Well, Aaron, you look at another big game that Oregon loses, unfortunately, in the regular season. And that's not like the MO of this team or this program. I mean, you look at every other big name school other than Alabama or Clemson for the most part over the last 5 to 8 years. There's a regular season game late in the year that they lose, in which that dashes their playoff hopes. But hate to say it, we pay attention to Twitter, whether we should or shouldn't. And there's a lot of bickering going on about Cristobal and game management, because fans understandably are so frustrated about not getting to the college football playoff. What do you make about all that when you step back and just evaluate how difficult it is to even get your team in these situations?
You know, I'm convinced it's a small portion of the fan base that's even on Twitter, let alone griping to that extent. There's clearly a spoiled element to some of the fan base, the same mentality that believes that beating Ohio State in September is bigger than winning the Rose Bowl. That person probably wouldn't want to meet Joey Harrington in a dark alley if he's got his crutches with him, because he would probably get pummeled for displaying that type of lack of logic. But, you know, look, fans always believe they can coach. We all at some point criticize coaching. But I think what's missing here, what kills me, is that I never believed Oregon had a shot to remotely even come close to making the playoffs this year. I made that clear all season. They were 4-3 last year. You didn't have a marquee quarterback. You weren't really great at anything. But Mario Cristobal, the guy who allegedly can't coach, pulled off a win at Ohio State and kept this team together and kept winning and winning and winning and got into position to have a shot at it. It fell apart in dramatic fashion, but to me, you credit him for even getting them to that point, because this team just isn't that good. And what I mean by that is the 2001 team blows out this team. the 2005 team, the 2007 team, the 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 teams, and the 2019 teams all beat this team by 2, 3, 4 touchdowns. The 2014 team beats this team by 40 or 50 by halftime. That's the difference as far as I'm concerned. So the fact that
40 or 50 by halftime?
Dude, Mariota against this team, are you kidding me? Especially after what we just saw Saturday. Anyway, my point is, that might be exaggeration, but my point is that this team is not ready yet. And the problem is fans are seeing these recruiting rankings and they think every 4-star and 5-star kid is going to be a first-round pick in the NFL. And what you're seeing is that all these 4-star receivers need time to grow. All these DBs who are 4- and 5-star guys can still get beaten. As great as Kayvon is, he's going to be a top 5 pick. He was pretty much neutralized in this last game. So they're not gods, they're just recruits, and they have to be developed, they have to grow, and they have to find a quarterback. But to say that Mario Cristobal can't coach when he's already won a Rose Bowl, when he's come close a couple times to making the playoffs, doesn't make any sense at all. Those spoiled Duck fans need to do a serious check on their fandom, on their actual knowledge of football, and chill out, because Mario's a good coach, he's doing a good job, get off his back.
Last question before we go. Joey, would you trade those rings for the oil painting that Anthony Newman has, though?
What's that? How much?
That's it. Maybe 1 ring for the oil painting. Is that fair?
I gotta, you know, it looks like the biceps in the painting are a little bit, I gotta see the realism, right? I'm not sure if this is like an abstract painting or if his arms actually look like that.
We'll check it out underneath closer examination. All right, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll go around the Pac-12. The conference, once again, falls short of the college football playoff. Depth is on display. We'll look at the Beavers. A huge test for Oregon when we come back on Talkin' Ducks.
Do you have a stay-at-home project? We can help. Contact Parr from the comfort of your home. Get a free quote online or call a pro to order your materials. And the best part? We deliver. Call us or visit Parr.com for details. Parr, your project experts for 90 years.
Since 1961, Comfort Flow Heating has provided service to more than 50,000 homes and businesses in the Willamette Valley. While the technology and techniques in our industry have changed, our founding principles have remained the same: to provide exceptional service in all areas of our business and for our customers to enjoy their products from us and be comfortable for years to come.
From all of us at Comfort Flow, thank you for choosing us.
Go Ducks!
Eugene Airport is a proud part of what makes Western Oregon such a unique place to be. With nonstop routes that connect to hundreds of destinations, fly local, fly EUG.
In the heart of the South Willamette Valley, just 12 miles southwest of Eugene, distinctive handcrafted wines are waiting for you at Sylvan Ridge Winery. Sylvan Ridge Wines bring unassuming, casual elegance to your homes, tables, and celebrations, and are best paired with the mainstays of a social gathering: good food, fond friends, and lively conversation. Discover our wines by visiting our tasting room. For a list of events or to plan your visit, go to sylvanridge.com. Proud partners of the Oregon Ducks.
You're watching Talkin' Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Welcome back. Buckle up and let's fly around the Pac-12, courtesy of Eugene Airport. Fly easy, fly EUG. Well, how about the Oregon State Beavers defeating Arizona State to stay in contention for a Pac-12 North title? Gotta love the job that Jonathan Smith is doing in Corvallis. Beavers Bowl eligible. And Joey, what do you make about Oregon State? Because this is a team that's had some ups and downs, but they continue to stick with it. And now they've put themselves in a position to at least give them a fighting chance for a Pac-12 North title if they can beat the Ducks this weekend.
Yeah, this is no longer a when and if and when Jonathan Smith gets the Beavers turned around. The Beavers they're here. They're not dominant. They're not a they're not at the top of the class yet, but they are at the position where they've shown that they can beat anybody in the conference at any point. So you need to be ready. Jonathan Smith laid down the gauntlet 2 weeks ago when he fired a defensive coordinator and said, I'm not putting up with this. So what they went out and threw up a bagel on Arizona State this week in the first half. This is a team that is going to be ready. They have shown that they can beat anybody, and Jonathan Smith is not messing around firing coaches mid-season just to prove the point that they need to be better than they have. And from that point, they have played better defensively. This is going to be a fight.
And Anthony, you figure this will be a huge game for Oregon State, and they've got a lot of confidence coming in, seeing what Utah did against Oregon. But my question to you is, who are you cheering for? Because you're a Duck, but then your daughter is dating a Beaver. So what do? You're going to have the split jersey there at the stadium this weekend?
You're getting soft, old man. How'd you allow that?
Hey, I had no control of that. I mean, and then my daughter Daylin is sitting in the Beaver section. Can you believe that?
No, come on,
She
man.
grew up as a Duck, and she's sitting in the Beaver section. You know, it's unbelievable. But I will tell you this.
That's just disrespectful. It's just
I know it is,
disrespectful.
but I have no control. I lost control of it. But here's the deal. I'm cheering for the young man. Jaden Grant, I love him to death. I cheer for him, not the school. The school, you can go bye-bye, okay? I cheer for number 3. So if he makes a good play, I may kind of quietly say, hey, good job. You know, won't let anybody see me say something, but I may cheer under my breath. But this is, Aaron, you wanted this game, right? You want it where it means something, correct?
Yeah,
you've always talked about that. You know, have the two teams play well. And I never wanted Oregon State to play well. I want them to lose all their games. I don't care. You know, that's what I want. I never lost to the Beavers. I had to put that in, by the way, so you guys know that. But
I appreciate that, yeah. I'm sure Jaden's never heard that either.
You lost to the Beavers. Exactly.
And I could tell that to Daylin. I said, hey, Daylin, I never lost to the Beavers. So that's my one-up. But, you know, here's the deal. This is going to be a game because Joey said it. Beavers can play. They can run the football. And if you think Utah ran the football, Oregon State can run the football. So you got to stop the running game. You got a quarterback that can run the football and throw the football. You got some very good receivers, some local receivers. And I like the local talent that's on the Beavers that's playing well. It is going to be a dogfight. You know, I'm glad it's at Autzen Stadium, but it is going to be a dogfight, and it is going to mean something. You know, going to the Pac-12 championship, hopefully for the Ducks.
Sounds like something a Beaver fan would say. Aaron, your thoughts on this?
I've been waiting for this, man. This is going to be fun. These teams are pretty even. Now, Oregon has the advantage in overall talent based on recruiting stars, but clearly Utah basically laid out the roadmap, the blueprint for exactly what Oregon State wants to do to Oregon, and that's run the football on them, use the passing game when needed. They have the athletic quarterback as well in Chance Nolan, who can make plays with his legs. I think it's going to come down to the wire. I think it's going to be a fascinating game. And the fact that Ducks are down veteran receivers, they have some good young talent. You got Devin Williams still, who's arguably, not arguably, I think he's the most talented receiver on their roster. But still, you lost some veteran savvy at that receiver position. So if you do have to rely on the pass, you're going to be relying on a lot of youngsters who are not really proven. So I think Oregon State probably smells blood in the water in this game. I think it's going to be extremely close, extremely fun, and I cannot wait.
Anthony, I just have visions of you sitting in the crowd, and then after an Oregon State play, your daughter hitting you and be like, Daddy, cheer. You got to cheer, Daddy.
Never. Never.
All right, stick around when we come back. We'll take a look at some excellence off the field. Oregon women's basketball, big-time win over Oklahoma, while the men left searching for some answers. Also a recruiting update with Matt Preem of 24/7 Sports when we come back on Talkin' Ducks. You're watching Talkin Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Welcome back. It's time for some excellence off the football field, presented by Ferguson Wellman. Ferguson Wellman taking a disciplined approach to investing. The Oregon women's basketball team, ranked number 9 in the nation, a huge tournament in the battle for Atlantis in the Bahamas. They start things off with a big-time come-from-behind victory over Oklahoma. Nyara Sabally, 30 points in that game as the Ducks storm back to get the win. The next game, though, was a bit of a test for Oregon against number 1 ranked South Carolina. They go this game without Tahina Pau or Nyara Sabally. They fall 80-63 to the number 1 ranked Gamecocks, and then close out the tournament with a loss to number 23 South Florida. Again, Oregon shorthanded in these games. No Pau, no Sabally in that one, but a great early season test for the Oregon women, who look like they are loaded with a ton of depth. And these are the kind of games you want early in the year to prove your mettle once you get to conference play. Let's go 2 minutes with 24/7 Sports now, and Matt Preem of Duck Territory joins us. And Matt, the transfer of Micah Pittman, does this now create a huge need at wide receiver for the Ducks?
Yeah, there's now all of a sudden a little bit of a need for a slot guy, a guy that can maybe play inside and out. And that goes with the fact that they had Isaiah Sategna committed, and then he decommitted to flip to Arkansas. So when you factor that in with Micah Pittman now leaving the program, you've got a couple guys that are in the slot currently. Chris Hudson is now the starter at that position. But I think you could argue the fact that Oregon was recruiting Darius Clemens and Kevin Coleman Jr., they're different receivers. It felt like before the Pittman news that maybe they took one, both if things played out perfectly. Now there might be a case where you need to go get both those guys if you can. Coleman can play on the outside and inside. He's a speed demon. He gives you that slot type of player now that Pittman is outside the program.
And finally, looks like Oregon once again hosting some more defensive talent. It looks like they're going to the JUCO level for a defensive lineman that's visiting this week.
Yeah, Jeffrey Mba, 4-star junior college player. He's the number 1 ranked JUCO player in the country. Oregon's trying to see if they can get him to come this weekend instead of going to Auburn. Or if that doesn't play out, they're going to try and do a midweek visit after the Pac-12 championship game if the Ducks can get there. Because the Pac-12 championship game is a weekend when you can recruit, but naturally if you're playing for your league's championship, you can't host players. So there's a little bit of movement here with Jeffrey Mba. He's a massive player, 6'6". He plays from the famous, if you watched the Netflix series Last Chance U, he's from Independence Community College, which was featured on that show. He's the number 1 ranked JUCO player in the country, and every big boy school is after him right now. And Oregon has thrown their hat into the ring, and they know they're getting him for a visit. They just don't know exactly when. They'd like to show him Autzen with a crowd in its stadium, but he also is trying to see if he can maybe see Auburn as well. So it's going to be a tussle the next couple of days to see if it's this weekend or if it's going to be in about 10 days or so.
All right. Thanks again, Matt. Enjoy the game between Oregon and Oregon State. We'll catch you next week.
Absolutely.
All right. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll talk about a name that we finally have for the Oregon-Oregon State game. Also, we'll give you our thoughts on what the Ducks need to do if they want to close out the regular season with a win at Autzen Stadium.
With 9 locations in the Pacific Northwest, Parr's Cabinet Design Center features everything from outdoor cabinets and countertops to sinks and hardware. Thousands of door styles and colors available to order, as well as kitchen and bath cabinets in stock. All available at the Parr Cabinet Design Center.
Hi there, it's Les Schwab Tires, reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. Introducing the brand new Backcountry AT2 for a quieter ride with improved performance in wet conditions. Because when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires help you feel prepared for anything. Seriously, anything. Now save up to $130 when you buy Quadtrac tires with financing. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Being able to get LASIK gave me the opportunity to not worry about putting contacts in every day, and just kind of made my life a little easier. Pacific Clear Vision Institute was just incredible through my entire experience. The staff was very welcoming. Dr. Embody, he really just kind of laid it out and made me feel comfortable and gave me confidence to know that I was in good hands. I would definitely recommend Pacific Clear Vision Institute for any sort of laser eye surgery.
Welcome to your Capital Toyota.
From the moment you walk through the doors, we're here for you.
Buy, sell, trade. We got you covered.
It's everything you need in one place.
Great service? Check.
Easy to work with?
Check.
We want you to be happy, and it shows in everything we do.
Because we respect your time.
It's all the quality and convenience in one package.
New or Toyota certified pre-owned.
Our people are your people.
Capital Toyota. It's your way on the Parkway.
You're watching Talkin' Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Let's have a toast brought to you by Sylvan Ridge Winery, proud partners of the Oregon Ducks. And Joey, we are toasting to the fact that this Oregon State rivalry now needs a name. You've been very vocal lately. What have you come up with?
Well, I wouldn't say I've been very vocal. What I would say is that we have...
More vocal than normal, though. I think that's fair to say.
Oh, well, maybe. All I'm saying is we have the greatest trophy in the history of college football trophies, and the greatest story about this trophy that's been buried in the foundation at Matt Court and was dug out by, like, you know, by the gods of college football, and then like dusted it off, and it's this perfect combination of half beaver and half duck trophy that can represent us. And I know the platypus isn't a native species to Oregon, but who cares? You know what? We've got a trophy. It exists. It's a half representation of the ducks and a half representation of the beavers. We call it the Platypus Cup. That trophy is amazing. It's better than Paul Bunyan. I mean, what does Paul Bunyan have to do? Or like a little brown jug?
Tail.
Like, who cares about a jug? You know, we got a trophy. We're going. The Platypus Cup. There you go.
All right, and popular name for that has been called the Platy, so maybe we'll get the wheels going on this. We weren't the ones that came up with the name Platy, but we can certainly start to get some momentum going behind that name. But let's go ahead and get to Victory Road, presented by Capital Toyota in Salem. Your way on the Parkway. And Aaron, a lot of talk about what Oregon State's going to do to Oregon, but let's turn things around here. What do the Ducks need to do to be victorious over the Beavers this weekend?
Well, do the reverse of what happened the last game and what Oregon State wants to do. Stop the run the football.
Not get kicks blocked?
I mean, yeah, well, that too. They have to get back to running the football well. They only had 63 yards against Utah, something like that. That's not going to cut it for them because you have to take pressure off of Brown. But that said, I do believe inevitably that Brown is going to have to make some plays. The passing game is going to have to step up. He's going to have to throw for 240 plus, a couple touchdowns for them to win this game. I do think it's going to be close, and I do think that Oregon State's going to put up points to the point where just running the football is not going to be enough for Oregon. Brown and the receivers are going to have to step up in this game, no doubt in my mind.
Anthony, what do the Ducks need to do to beat your daughter's boyfriend's team?
Yeah. well, Cristobal said it. Coach Cristobal said it earlier. They have to bounce back. They have to deal with adversity. And football players are told all the time, it's all about the next play. Okay. Now it's about the next game. So the season's not over. Joey said it. There's a lot to play for. So let's move on. Okay. Let's learn from our mistakes and move on. And we need to play better. Otherwise, we'll get embarrassed at home.
Hey, Anthony, are the Beavers your second favorite team? Are they officially your second favorite team? Is that what you've said?
They're not even.
I think that's what I'm hearing from you, is that your second favorite team is Oregon State. Did everybody else hear that?
No. They're not even on the planet. No.
Do you pay for a wedding if the colors are orange and black, Anthony?
You guys are killing me. You're killing me.
The Ducks are a 1-touchdown favorite over Anthony's daughter's boyfriend's team this weekend at Hudson Stadium. But can the Ducks bounce back when there's still so much more to play for? Even though the college football playoff is out of the window, out of conversation for Oregon, the Rose Bowl is still there. We'll learn a lot more about this team. They are battled, they are bruised, but they are back at home. So next week we'll break down that game for you and also potentially set the stage for Pac-12 championship game. For myself, Aaron, Joey, and Anthony, thanks again for joining us. We'll see you guys next week on Talkin' Ducks.
Sometimes leadership is scary. But so is regret.